Welcome to this guide on company formation in Brazil, brought to you by Botinha Cabral, a trusted law firm specializing in helping foreign investors navigate the Brazilian business landscape. Brazil stands as Latin America's largest economy, offering an extraordinary opportunity for businesses looking to expand into one of the world's most dynamic markets. With a rapidly growing consumer base, abundant natural resources, and a welcoming environment for foreign investment, Brazil has firmly established itself as a premier destination for global entrepreneurs and corporations alike. Whether you are an individual investor or a multinational corporation, understanding how to properly establish your business presence in Brazil is absolutely essential for long-term success. Throughout this video, we will walk you through everything you need to know about forming a company in Brazil. And with Botinha Cabral by your side, the entire process becomes significantly more straightforward. Let us get started. So what makes Brazil such a compelling destination for foreign investors? The answer lies in a combination of factors that are difficult to find anywhere else in the world. First, consider the sheer scale of the market. Brazil is home to over 200 million people, creating an enormous and diverse consumer base with growing purchasing power across multiple income segments. Beyond population size, Brazil possesses some of the world's most abundant natural resources, from vast agricultural land to significant oil and mineral reserves. This naturally fuels strength across several key industries. Agribusiness remains a global powerhouse, while the energy sector continues to attract major international players. Manufacturing has deep roots here, and the technology sector is expanding rapidly, particularly in cities like São Paulo and Belo Horizonte. Brazil also maintains strong trade relationships across Latin America, North America, Europe, and Asia, giving businesses established here genuine access to global markets. Now that we understand why Brazil is such a compelling destination for foreign investment, let's explore the main ways you can actually establish a presence there. Generally speaking, there are three primary routes available to foreign companies and individuals. First, you can form a local company, creating an entirely new Brazilian legal entity. Second, you can register a branch of your existing foreign company directly in Brazil. Third, you can appoint a local representative to act on your behalf without formally incorporating a new entity. Each of these options carries its own set of legal requirements, tax implications, operational advantages, and limitations. The right choice depends on your business goals, the scale of your operations, your industry, and your long-term plans in the Brazilian market. In the sections ahead, we will break down each option in detail, starting with the different types of companies you can form in Brazil, so you can make a fully informed decision before taking your first step. Now that we have outlined the main ways to establish a presence in Brazil, let us explore the specific business structures available to you in more detail. The most popular choice for foreign investors is the Sociedade Limitada, commonly known as the Ltda. This structure is essentially the Brazilian equivalent of a limited liability company, and it is easy to understand why it remains so widely used. One of its greatest advantages is limited liability protection. This means each partner's personal assets are protected, and their financial responsibility is restricted to the value of their contribution to the company's capital. The Ltda also offers a flexible management structure, allowing partners to define how the company is managed through a social contract, which functions similarly to an operating agreement. Because of its simplicity and adaptability, the Sociedade Limitada is particularly well suited for small to medium-sized businesses looking to operate efficiently within the Brazilian market. Continuing our look at Brazilian business structures, let's explore the Sociedade Anônima, commonly known as the SA. This structure is the Brazilian equivalent of a corporation, and is typically the preferred choice for larger businesses or those planning to raise capital from investors. The SA exists in two forms. The first is the publicly held company, known as Companhia Aberta, which can offer shares on the stock exchange and raise funds from the general public. The second is the closely held company, known as Companhia Fechada, which operates with a restricted group of shareholders and does not trade publicly. Both forms require a board of directors, formal shareholder meetings, and published financial statements, making governance more structured and demanding than the Sociedade Limitada. Despite its complexity, the SA offers significant advantages, particularly for businesses seeking substantial investment, planning future public offerings, or requiring a more formal corporate framework to attract institutional partners. Beyond the Ltda and SA, Brazil offers several other business structures worth understanding. The empresario individual, or sole proprietorship, is the simplest form of business registration. However, it comes with a significant drawback. The owner has unlimited personal liability, meaning personal assets are at risk if the business faces financial trouble. This makes it less appealing for most investors. The SLU, which stands for Sociedade Limitada Unipessoal, was introduced to allow a single person to form a limited liability company, also a very accessible and common option. Each structure serves a different purpose, and choosing the right one depends on your investment size, risk tolerance, and long-term business goals in Brazil. Before proceeding with the incorporation of your Brazilian company, there is an essential precondition that must be met by all partners involved. Every partner of the Brazilian entity is required to hold a valid tax identification number. If the partner is a foreign corporation, it must be registered with the CNPJ, the Brazilian Federal Tax Registry specifically designated for foreign shareholders. On the other hand, if the partner is an individual, regardless of their nationality or country of residence, they must obtain a CPF, which is the Brazilian Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. These registrations are mandatory requirements under Brazilian law and cannot be bypassed during the incorporation process. We understand that navigating foreign tax registration systems can be a complex and time-consuming endeavor, which is why we are here to assist you every step of the way. Our team is fully equipped to guide and support you in obtaining both the CNPJ for corporate partners and the CPF for individual partners, ensuring that all prerequisites are properly fulfilled before your Brazilian company is formally established. Now that we have covered the main business structures available, let us walk through the actual process of forming a company in Brazil. The first step is choosing the right business structure based on your goals, number of partners, and capital plans. Once that decision is made, the next step is drafting the Articles of Incorporation, known as the Social Contract for a Sociedade Limitada, or the Estatuto Social for a Sociedade Anônima. These documents define the company's purpose, share structure, management rules, and partner responsibilities. After drafting, the documents must be registered with the Junta Commercial, which is the board of trade in the state where the company will operate. This registration officially brings the company into legal existence. Following that, the company must obtain its Cadastro Nacional da Pessoa Jurídica, commonly known as the CNPJ, which is the Federal Tax Identification Number issued by the Receita Federal. This number is essential for all future business and tax operations. Once your company is incorporated, the compliance journey continues with additional registrations. Depending on your business activity and location, you will need to obtain a municipal operating license, known as the Alvará de Funcionamento, issued by the local city government. Certain industries also require state-level licenses or approvals from regulatory bodies. Equally important is enrolling your company in Brazil's social security systems. The Instituto Nacional do Seguro Social, known as INSS, covers employee social security contributions, while the Fundo de Garantia do Tempo de Serviço, known as FGTS, is a mandatory employment severance fund. Both registrations are essential before hiring any staff. Additionally, businesses in specific sectors such as food, healthcare, or construction may require environmental permits or approvals from agencies like Anvisa or IBAMA. Navigating these requirements can be complex, but with proper legal guidance, each step becomes manageable and ensures your business operates fully within Brazilian law. When foreign nationals or companies look to establish a business in Brazil, there are several unique requirements to navigate carefully. One of the most critical obligations is appointing a Brazilian legal representative, a resident individual who acts on behalf of the foreign investor before Brazilian authorities. Foreign documents required during the formation process, such as articles of incorporation, identity documents, and powers of attorney, must undergo notarization in their country of origin, followed by an apostille certification under the Hague Convention. If the country of origin is a signatory of the Apostille Hague Convention, or legalization at a Brazilian consulate, ensuring the document's legal validity in Brazil. These requirements can be time-consuming and complex without proper guidance. Understanding each step, from document preparation to legal representation, is essential for a smooth and compliant company formation process in Brazil. Another option for foreign companies looking to operate in Brazil is registering a branch, known as a filial. Rather than creating an entirely new local entity, a foreign company can extend its existing legal presence into Brazil through a formal authorization process overseen by the Brazilian federal government, specifically through the Ministry of Development, Industry, Commerce, and Services. This process requires presidential decree authorization, making it more complex and time-consuming than forming a new local company. The parent company assumes full legal and financial liability for all activities conducted by the Brazilian branch, meaning there is no separation of liability between the two. Operationally, a branch must maintain its own accounting records, comply with Brazilian tax obligations, and appoint a local legal representative residing in Brazil. While branches offer the advantage of maintaining a unified corporate identity, most foreign investors find that forming a new local entity provides greater flexibility, faster setup, and cleaner liability separation. Botinha Cabral can help you evaluate which path best suits your goals. Now that we have covered company structures and branch registration, let us talk about the financial side of setting up your business in Brazil. For most company types, Brazilian law does not impose a strict minimum capital requirement. However, certain regulated industries and specific structures do require a defined minimum investment to obtain their operating licenses. When bringing foreign capital into Brazil, the funds must be properly transferred through authorized financial institutions and registered with the Brazilian Central Bank using the system known as the Registro Declaratório Eletrônico, or RDE. This registration is not optional. It is a legal requirement and a critical step. Why does this registration matter so much? Because it directly affects your ability to repatriate profits. Only capital that has been properly registered with the central bank can be legally remitted back to your home country as dividends or returned investment. Skipping this step can create serious legal and financial complications down the road. Proper registration from the start protects your investment and ensures full compliance with Brazilian foreign exchange regulations. Understanding Brazil's tax system is essential for any business operating in the country. Brazil has taxes applied at 3 levels: federal, state, and municipal. Federal taxes include corporate income tax, social contributions, and taxes on goods and services. Brazil has some systems of taxation. Simples Nacional is designed for small businesses, consolidating multiple taxes into a single payment. Lucro Presumido applies a presumed profit margin to calculate taxes, making it suitable for mid-sized companies. Lucro Real is based on actual profits and is mandatory for larger companies or financial institutions. Choosing the right tax regime can significantly reduce a company's overall tax burden and improve financial efficiency. Proper guidance from experienced legal and accounting professionals is absolutely critical in making this decision. Navigating Brazil's business landscape can feel overwhelming, but that is exactly where Botinha Cabral makes a difference. From your very first consultation, their experienced legal team works closely with you to understand your business goals and recommend the most suitable company structure for your specific situation. They handle every step of the formation process, including drafting articles of incorporation, preparing all required documentation, and managing registrations with the Board of Trade, the Receita Federal for your Cadastro Nacional da Pessoa Jurídica number, and all relevant municipal and state authorities. For foreign investors, Botinha Cabral coordinates the notarization and apostille of international documents, liaises with Brazilian consulates, and ensures your appointed legal representative meets all requirements. Beyond formation, they provide ongoing compliance support, covering tax regime selection, labor law obligations, and regulatory updates. With Botinha Cabral by your side, entering the Brazilian market becomes a structured, confident, and legally sound journey. Beyond their core offerings, Botinha and Cabral also provide comprehensive support in the area of importation licenses, ensuring that clients can navigate the complex regulatory landscape with ease and confidence. The team is well versed in the registration of health products and medicines, guiding businesses through the stringent requirements set by the relevant health authorities to guarantee full compliance and market readiness. Furthermore, Botinha and Cabral extend their expertise to the registration of electronic devices with INMetro, Brazil's National Institute of Metrology, Quality, and Technology, helping clients meet the mandatory certification standards required for the commercialization of electronic products in the Brazilian market. With a dedicated and knowledgeable team handling every step of these processes, clients can rest assured that their products will be properly registered and compliant, allowing them to focus on what truly matters, growing their business. Beyond legal guidance, Botinha and Cabral are well positioned to coordinate the identification and engagement of a qualified local representative on your behalf, or in certain cases, depending on the field and manner of operations, we may directly offer that service ourselves. Our goal is to ensure that every structural requirement of your Brazilian business presence is met with precision and reliability. In addition, we actively assist and liaise clients with trusted accounting services in Brazil, ensuring full compliance with the country's complex fiscal and tax obligations from day one. For those seeking a faster route to market, we also offer off-the-shelf registered addresses for the establishment of corporations, providing a practical and time-efficient solution for companies looking to formalize their presence in Brazil without unnecessary delays. An address is a requirement for formation. From representation to accounting to corporate structuring, we serve as your single point of coordination throughout the entire process. Throughout this video, we have walked you through the essential steps of forming a company in Brazil, from choosing the right business structure to navigating tax regimes, licensing requirements, and foreign investment regulations. While the process may seem complex at first glance, it is entirely manageable when you have the right legal team by your side. Brazil remains one of the most exciting and rewarding markets in the world for foreign investors, and with proper guidance, your path to establishing a business here can be smooth and straightforward. That is exactly where Botinha and Cabral comes in. Their experienced legal team is ready to support you at every stage, providing personalized advice tailored to your specific business goals and circumstances. Do not let the complexity hold you back. Reach out to Botinha and Cabral today to schedule your consultation and take the first confident step toward building your business presence in Brazil. Your opportunity is waiting.